The Pool of Death. That is Pool D at the 2023 World Baseball Classic. 3 teams in this pool are good enough to win the whole WBC, but only 2 will go on to the second round. The countries are Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Israel, and Nicaragua. The 5 teams will be meeting in Miami from Saturday to Wednesday. First game is at noon on Saturday between Nicaragua and Puerto Rico. In the evening, Dominican Republic and Venezuela. Sunday, Nicaragua and Israel, Venezuela and Puerto Rico. Monday, Dominican Republic and Nicaragua, Israel and Puerto Rico. Tuesday, Nicaragua and Venezuela, Israel and Dominican Republic. And on Wednesday, Venezuela and Israel in the day, PR and DR meet at night. Dominican Republic is the only team to ever go through an entire WBC undefeated. They did that in 2013 when they won their first WBC title, then went 3-0 in first round play at the 2017 WBC, but bowed out in the second round. Puerto Rico reached the second round in the first 2 WBCs, reached the championship game in each of the last 2 WBCs. Venezuela's all-time best was the 3rd place finish in 2009. Last time they made it to the second round but lost all their games once they got there. Israel made its WBC debut in 2017, going 3-0 in the first round, including wins over Netherlands and Korea, and was 3rd in the second round. Nicaragua is playing in its first WBC in 2023. They got here with a runner-up finish at the qualifier in Panama last fall. That's quite a group there, a WBC champion, a 2-time runner-up, a team that finished 3rd, and another team that was 1 win short of reaching the semifinals last time. Let's see how they compare. The Dominicans are bringing the best pitching, rotation headed by the reigning National League Cy Young winner Sandy Alcantara. Also Major League pitchers Cristian Javier, Johnny Cueto, and Roansy Contreras. Alcantara will be starting in their opening game versus Venezuela. Javier gets the start versus Nicaragua, Contreras versus Israel, and Cueto versus Puerto Rico. A bullpen stocked full of reliable Major League arms like Brian Abreu and Yimi Garcia. If any of these guys get into trouble early on, they can bring in one quality reliever after another. Puerto Rico's rotation of Barrios, Stroman, Hamill, and Santiago is alright, but doesn't measure up to Dominican Republic or Venezuela's rotation. They've got one pitcher who had an ERA over 5 last year, one who hasn't reached the major league level yet, and another who didn't pitch anywhere last summer. But if it comes down to a battle of the bullpens, advantage goes to Puerto Rico. Edwin Diaz, Alexis Diaz, Fernando Cruz, Jorge Lopez, Giovanni Moran. The bullpen is the team's strength. I'd say the best bullpen in Pool D, but they're 2nd overall in pitching. Venezuela's rotation looks pretty good. Martín Perez, Pablo Lopez, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Jesus Luzardo. 4 starting pitchers any major league team would be glad to have. This is the 2nd best rotation in Pool D. As for relievers, all major leaguers, and they've got some quality pitchers like Jose Alvarado and Andres Machado. But they've also got some that struggled and saw limited action last year. The bullpen took a hit this week when Ranger Suarez had to be removed. Israel's starting rotation is Dean Kramer, a good major league starting pitcher, Robert Stock, a decent KBO pitcher, Colton Gordon, a young prospect who played in high single A last year, and Brandon Gold, coming off 2 bad seasons in AAA. In the bullpen, 1 good major league reliever in Richard Blair, a couple other major league relievers, then a bunch of minor league arms. Nicaragua's rotation is Erasmo Ramirez, a good reliever in MLB, J.C. Ramirez, a former major league pitcher, Carlos Rodriguez, a promising young prospect, and Ronald Medrano, a Nicaraguan league pitcher just signed with the Royals last month. Bullpen's led by Jonathan Loaizaga, a good name to have in there. The rest of the relievers are minor leaguers or Nicaraguan league pitchers. Overall, the pitching is pretty close between Israel and Nicaragua. Small edge to Israel. Dominican Republic has the best hitting, a whole major league lineup that includes big league stars like Juan Soto, Manny Machado, and Jeremy Pena. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was removed from the roster last week. That one hurts a little, but even after losing him, they've still got the best hitting in Pool D. But not by much. Venezuela's got Jose Altuve, Salvador Perez, Ronald Acuna Jr., and a whole major league lineup. Miguel Cabrera is there too, for his 5th WBC. Some big names in Puerto Rico's lineup too, Francisco Lindor, Javi Baez, but from top to bottom it doesn't look so good. A lot of players coming off bad seasons. It got even worse last week when Jose Miranda had to be taken off the roster. Israel's got Jock Peterson, couple other major league hitters, couple ex-major league hitters, a good AAA prospect, Matt Mervis. Not much else. Nicaragua's best are a couple ex-major league hitters, Chesler Cuthbert and Alex Blandino. Quite a few players who've been out of the major league system for several years. Just as with pitching, they're a little behind Israel in hitting. So, Dominican Republic, best hitting, best rotation. Puerto Rico, best bullpen, but the hitting and the rotation are kind of weak. Venezuela, good balance of hitting and pitching, but the bullpen might have trouble holding a lead late in the game. One thing I'll say for sure, Israel and Nicaragua will not be able to upset any of the other three teams. Those two will battle it out to avoid relegation to the qualifiers. And when they do, I'm picking Nicaragua to win. Yes, Israel looks stronger on paper, but I think when playing together as a team, Nicaragua will find a way to get that one win they need to remain in the WBC. As for the top three, no one will be surprised if it ends in a three-way tie, but we've got to pick one team to drop out in the first round, and I'm picking Puerto Rico to be that team. I don't think the rotation will be a problem, they'll get the job done, and the bullpen will be really strong, but I predict the hitting will be cold. They'll be losing by scores of like 2-0. They'll be able to hit the ball better against Israel and Nicaragua, but won't be lighting up the scoreboard against them either. Between Dominican Republic and Venezuela, it should be a good matchup. I think it'll be close most of the way, but Venezuela will give up a few crucial runs late in the game, and the Dominicans will be champions of Pool D. So here's how I've got it. 1. Dominican Republic. 2. Venezuela. 3. Puerto Rico. 4. Nicaragua. And 5. Israel. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all for this one, and until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.